Yo, I guess Beast back with some more Beastly content. Today we are going to be doing a bank build, and we're going to be using the Croup Manor, whatever it is, something like that. We're using this manor actually to make a bank, and the first things first, we added a couple different things. First of all, there's Scrap Anything mod, or Everything mod, one of the two, and it allows us to actually edit the entire building. So I actually expanded that little corner out there, and then also you see we're just clearing out everything here. We cleared out the thing in front of the building that normally isn't clear outable. And then also we went ahead and redid the entire floor. So we took out the original floor and put a new floor in. I just found that the easiest way to make the floor look like a bank floor and not have to deal with just those stock assets. So first things first about the actual assets of the house. They are not snappable form floors or walls or anything, so if you go to put the walls back and everything, it's just kind of a nightmare to do it. Honestly, it's kind of confusing as to why they don't snap, but they don't for the workshop, at least. I'm sure they did when they were building them, and you know, they probably just had like a collision setup sort of dealio where they all had collision set up and they had the layer of earth and everything separate in their actual editor. But as you can see here, this is the way we did it because we're just doing it in game. And as you can see here, we used these little tile floor panel designer sort of things, and it gave it a really nice, like, marbly looking floor, which seemed like a bank sort of floor to me. That was the first thing. Now we are using the Bank of the Commonwealth mod in this video, and as you can see here, this is just the counter. At first we were going to place it up front, and then we took it to the back a little more, just to make a little more sense, and also it fits exactly as a spot where we can put a wall up. But originally we were going to do desk here and do like a little desk setup for the tellers here, but we ended up going with something different. As you can see here. But anyway, so we also have to redo all the walls and everything here. So we put a little wall up here. We're going to do like this little roomed in area that just kind of separates the teller's area from the normal bank. And this is also just so that we can keep people out of the teller area, at least make it harder to enter there. As you can see there, this is about the first floor done. We will be going ahead and placing one of those designer panels there as well. And then of course there was so much cleanup when it came to all the scrap and everything outside around the area. I did so much of that and I cut it out, so there's a lot of the scrapping has been cut out, but there's still some here. As you can see, we actually had to remove like the window shutters and stuff. I could have tried to face those on the front, but it just seemed like it was more effort than I was worth, and we just deleted that. And as you can see here, this is the ceiling lights. These kind of reminded me at least the most of banks. I did pull up like a picture of like 60s and 70s style banks, and I tried to go kind of like 60s, 70s style banks, but I wanted to add like a modern institute touch to them, and you will see that later when you see the teller stations that we did end up going with. As you can see here, this is all the signs from the mod I am talking about, Bank of the Commonwealth. Here is the bank sign. We do have that placed here. And here, as you can see here, is just a bank workstation. I will be having a whole video over this mod in the future, as well as future bank builds. Most banks aren't going to be the priority centerpiece of the settlement like this one is. However, I felt like having a nice bank was an important thing if I was going to be adding this mod to my list of mods that I already have a huge list of. So, as you can see here, office decoration here, we were just using like filing cabinets in the back. They are destroyed. I kind of wish I would have found like functional ones, but then it would have taken longer, and honestly, I don't know. I kind of like the destroyed one, since I think it's okay. We don't actually really need filing cabinets at a bank anyway, especially the bank here, honestly. I mean, we take your money, you give your money back, and that's just how it goes. I think they just keep it all written down on the clipboard, honestly. But and as you can see here, a bank alarm as well as a switch. And we're using these little bitty power things, which we will be seeing in a minute. These are actually from a side quest mod that adds more quests. It is a portable power generator, and it's a little cheeky to be using, but honestly, I do not care. It does create a power source. Well, as far as immersibility, I mean, it does look pretty legit to me. It is only 100 power, and you are connecting to a power source. It's just a wired one, and I don't want to hear a power source from the bank, that's for sure. I don't want to hear some giant generator pumping in the back of the bank. That just doesn't make any sense to me. So we did end up going with that, as well as most of our bank builds. Probably are going to incorporate that. And if I do use that little power piece in a build, I do apologize for anyone who is mad about that being slightly non-immersive. It's okay, look man, it's power, and that's just what I need. I need some power there, I don't care how. But as you can see here, this is the front of it. We ended up naming it the Fallon's Bank. So we tried putting on this a couple different ways, but then when we look at it, it'd be like the bank sign was huge and the Fallon sign was way too small. So we ended up just sticking the Fallon sign as close to the edge as possible and the bank sign all the way in the back, and that way by perspective, the size was relative enough that you understood it was Fallon's Bank and not just bank with a tiny little word of Fallon's. And as you can see here, this is the first robot we built in this settlement. This settlement, we ended up making it a 3-settler settlement, 2 of them being robots and 1 of them being the official teller. This guy was going to be a teller, but I ended up not using him as a teller just because I couldn't get the tellers to work. I actually couldn't get the mod to work on any of my Commonwealth workshops. We did get a functional one to work where the settler would actually be a teller on my Nuka World Bank, but I've already mentioned too much about a future video that this is not. But as you can see here, we did do a recruitment thing because we do want to have a person to actually go ahead and be our teller. Robots don't work by default. We did add a mod that made it to where robots can do shops, but I have not tested it in the Red Rock yet on if the robot can actually be a bank teller or not. Which is disheartening to say the least. It sucks to have all these tellers here. The good thing is these tellers are still robbable. I don't know if maybe it just has to do with the fact that I joined the raiders and then killed all the raiders. Maybe I'm just considered the overboss still, and that's why it doesn't let me. I'm not really sure, to be honest. But as you can see here, we did go ahead and continue decorating here. We added some of those fishing little things here. I seen there was a lake here, or honestly it looks almost like an ocean here, so I figured I'd go ahead and just put the chair with the fishing pole there. I actually haven't used those a lot in settlements until just this now in this video. I do plan on doing more with that. I was kind of thinking of like a fisherman's dock sort of vibe for the Newcastle external little wooden dock area that's completely unfinished and it looks kind of crappy right now. I would like to go and do that. As you can see, this is the little area, the little like room underneath it. I added a mod for this called like the Croup. It's basically, it makes the little building underneath the Croup also buildable. We will be going back and building that separately. However, the safes we placed in there are not currently counting towards Croup Manor's bank safe count, so we're gonna go ahead and make that a separate bank eventually. But it's gonna be more of like, the guy down there is not a teller. He is a teller, but he's not the teller. He's kind of more like the bank guard, and he's gonna have like a security setup and everything. But that's gonna be part of a different video. Once again, future videos. As you can see here, though, I like using glass walls, especially on things like this. So we mainly just finished the top roof here now, and then it looks like we're also going to be doing some patchworking and just making things look a little bit more better now. So as you can see here, we do still want to go with the wastelandish vibes. Any other spots that were damaged, if we did not use glass walls, we did leave some boards up on the windows as well. This isn't going to be like, and also I don't really know how I'm supposed to fix the windows on here without just completely removing the walls of this place and taking away what even was the original place to begin with. I want to leave the integrity of the original building still while making it into the thing. So as you can see here, we just used all these little filler boards here to fill up any gaps that we had hanging around, which on this there was just inevitable to have gaps because it's using stock assets along with the workshop's default walls and piecing them together and making them work. But I think it turned out pretty well overall. We are getting towards the closer to the end of the video right now. As you can see here, we were just putting in the filler boards. It's looking pretty close to complete. I think there's still some work to be done. It does look like we currently have 3 people running around, but I think one of the robots is yet to be customized. The Bankatron robot was cool, however, I do have another robot I am looking forward to build. And as you can see here, this is our little safe room area so far. We will probably come back through and touch up on it, but honestly, it's not the primary safe room. I would like to make the room underneath it a primary safe room, but in order to do that, I need to add it to the bank network, and then add that network so that once it's added to the network, it will be a bank part of the Bank of the Commonwealth. It just will be its own separate network from the Croup Manor network of banking, but it will still be at the settlement, so it should be fine that way. And it will be part of the bank network, so yeah, it should work out pretty cool. So as you see here, we also did put some Institute looking guys standing there and then design that. You will see that in the little showcase thing a little better. It is going a little fast, but I mean, this was like 4 hours worth of work here. I built this one from the ground up this time. We did put lights out there on the Covenant walls. Pretty standard. I figured I needed like a defense wall. I'm building all of these banks because the bank mod does allow you to rob banks. Once again, said too much there, a little bit of spoilers. There's the shopping cart robot we got rolling around, ending to the plants we have out front. And then, as you can see here, I do believe we're about to be out of here. Go ahead and leave a like on the video if you did enjoy it, and keep it beast mode. I am out. See yous.